Hey, what's going on, everybody? Back with you guys today for an updated deck profile for my Invoked Shaddoll deck. Topped another locals, came out pretty good. I'm going to discuss a couple of tech options that I chose, and a couple things I do a little differently compared to most Invoked Shaddoll builds that you see. So, without further ado, let's get on into it. So, starting off with our monsters here, you want to start out with, obviously, your 3 Alistair, 2 Windy, 2 Squamata, 2 Hedgehog, 1 Beast, 1 Dragon, 1 Aerial. Pretty standard. I considered doing a second Aerial, but I don't know how I feel about it yet, because I'm not running Sinister Shadow games or anything like that, because deck is very tight. I don't know. I may consider it. For hand traps, 3 Ash, and we got our Gamma package. And for our last monster, a good tech of mine, Eldritch. Comes in very, very clutch. It's pretty busted off of Shaddoll Fusion. You send this from deck. If you need it down the road, you can send your Meltdown or a couple other choices that I have in my deck here, which I'll get to here in a bit. But highly suggest giving Golden Boy a try. He's very good in the deck. Alright, so that rounds off the monsters, even 20. For your spell lineup, triple Meltdown, and your 1 Terraforming, 2 Invocation. For our Shaddolls, 3 Shaddoll Fusion, 2 L. I see some people running 1 L. If you're not running the Dogmatika package, which I do not, I highly suggest throwing in another one, because you want to see at least one of these in your opening hand. Instead of playing 4, play 5, you're more likely to see them. Because, you can't just set up Mechaba Pass. It usually doesn't work out in your favor. You need to do a little bit extra, and seeing that extra fusion really helps. Another thing some people may or may not agree with, 2 Super Poly. I don't run 3 because, for one, my locals, everybody's hopping on the Prank Kid train. It's not really good against that. I don't know, there's certain matchups where Super Poly isn't that great. I do side a third one in, just in case. But 2 is fine. 1 Foolish Burial, you would be a fool not to play it. And for my last 2 cards, Monster Reborn and Emergency Teleport. Now, this card is highly underrated, solely for the fact that it special summons any level 3 or lower Psychic. And going over your Psychics, you got Gamma, and then you got your Windy. These are very good extenders, and what makes E-Telly so special is if you have, let's say, a Shaddoll on hand, you don't have a light target, you can activate E-Telly to special summon one of your Gammas from deck, and that's your light target right there for your construct plays. And then if you have other plans, you could just bring out Windy, get the free special summon. I mean, it's busted. Also, if you need to go into Verte Anaconda, this is an extender to get that extra monster on board, so you can go into Super Poly from there. So, E-Telly is amazing, and I'll explain Monster Reborn here in a bit. Alright, so that rounds off the spells. Onto the traps. You got 3 summon limit. I mean, nothing's worse for your opponent than going first and having a Winda on board, a Mechaba, and a summon limit. Because not only do they have to deal with their Winda, or your Winda, they also have to deal with the summon limit. So even if they do get over Winda somehow, they still have this to worry about. And what makes this card so much more greater is the fact that you can send it with your Eldritch to turn it off whenever you want. It's really good, and it really just shuts down a lot of decks. I mean, if you open this up going first, and you're going against Prank Kids, there's not too much that they really can do. If they don't open the fusion and everything that they need, they can't really do much. It wins games and it's just overall amazing. Next up, we got 2 Solemn Strike, 1 Crackdown, 1 Stormy Mirror Force. Reasoning behind this is because we have some people at my locals that play Vanity's Ruler, and that is very problematic for this deck, and you want to be able to have an out somehow for it, because if you already burned through like your Shaddoll Squamatos and your Shaddoll Dragon, and you can't return anything or destroy anything, this is very good, solely for the fact that this doesn't target, this just returns everything, and this came up a good bit. And a Crackdown, you just steal a monster. You know, if they bring out UCT and they don't have Misc, well, guess what? I'm stealing it. They bring out anything problematic, you just steal it. It's pretty cheeky. I like it. And then finally, 1 Schism. I cut Resh because I just don't think it's that amazing for the Invoked build. That's why I run the Monster Reborn, because if you think about it, if you open Resh, it's not all that great. If you open Monster Reborn, at least if you go into your Construct plays, you can Monster Reborn your Construct and go even further with your combos. Not only that, if you're up against the Mirror match and you special summon their Construct or any of their cards, you can use it to your advantage and get their effects off. And I do have a lot of people in my locals playing the Shaddolls, so this actually came up very clutch for me. That rounds off the main deck. Onto the extra deck. We have your basic 3, Verte, Artemis, Gravity Controller. Pretty simple. For the Invoked package, did a little differently. 2 Mechaba, 1 Ragin, 1 Agoides. I don't play Purgatria because I don't think it's really that necessary. I mean, if you wanted to, you could probably cut one of the Mechabas for Purgatria. I don't think it's really that necessary. I'd rather have 2 big bodies. And right now, like I said, locals is full of Dogmatika Invoked, Shaddoll Invoked, just a bunch of generic stuff that uses light monsters. And being able to get rid of their Ecclesias or any other problematic light monsters really helps. It's also really good against UCT. If I face up against Dinos and I banish their UCT, they kind of really can't do anything. So it's very good. Its negate effect is all around pretty good. And if you got an Alistair, that's a 3500 beater. Very good. Raging, good against like Bird Up or anything. You know, your Windy is a wind, so it comes up. Also, people play Droll and Lockbird on you. At least you got this to rely on. Also, it's very good against prank kids. You know, they normal summon, you're like, oh, okay, book a minute, flip it down. Can't really do much. Agoides is Agoides. We all know how that goes. For the Super Poly target, I play 1 Starving Venom. Then finally for our Shaddolls, 2 Winda, 2 Upclone, triple Construct. Construct is very good. I don't know why people play 2. In the Dogmatika build, I could see why, I guess. But triple Construct just puts a lot of pressure on board. It's a very problematic card for some decks. It gets around a lot, and overall it's very good. And, you know, I'm running a 2nd Mechaba, and sometimes that extra light target can help bring out my 3rd Construct, you know? So, that's it for the extra deck. For the side deck, I played 1 Feather Duster, 3 Twin Twisters, just because prank kids, you activate this during the standby phase, and you pop their fusion. They can't really do much. Also, we got some Mystic Mind players running about, and a lot of back row hate, really. Next up, triple Evenly Matched, all around good card going 2nd. Lancia, also very good. You know, face up against Dinos, the Mirror, very problematic. 1 Raigeki, 1 Dark Hole. Play these over Lightning Vortex, because if you're going up against a Dino player, they bring out that token on your side of the field. You can't really play Lightning Storm or anything because you got that token. I just want something that's free that can get rid of the monsters. You know, Bird Up, they don't really put any actual negations on board. And if they don't have their, I think it's their spell or trap or whatever to protect, then you just nuke their board. You get rid of that barrier statue. You don't waste your super poly. You just get rid of it. Also, is a good out to the Vanity Ruler. And then finally, 2 Waking the Dragon and 1 Last Warrior from Another Planet. That's another reason why I main the trap cards like I do, like the Schism, the Solemn Strike, Crackdown, Storming, Summon Limit, is because I want them to think that I'm running a very heavy trap deck, and usually I'll side these traps out. That way they think that this is a strike or a crackdown. That's why I just run 1 crackdown and 1 storming. I want them to think that I have multiples of these and I'm running a very heavy trap lineup. So if they do anything to my back row, I just bring out Last Warrior and, oh, guess what? You can't summon monsters. What can you do? Nothing. So it's a very good card to really mess up your opponent's plays. It didn't come up. I really wish it would have, but it didn't, unfortunately. But I don't know. I may take these out. But it was fun. It was a good thought. But yeah, guys, that's everything. Feel free to comment, subscribe for more updates on my deck profile. I'm aiming to go to the top with Shaddolls. I'm doing everything I could think of with this deck. Any kind of possible ratios, texts, everything, you name it. I'm considering a Spellbook of Knowledge or even Wonder Wand. There's a lot of ideas that I have, and I will give you guys all of my ideas as we go down the road. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe for more updated deck profiles. Peace.